Mansfield, Missouri. We left Tennessee yesterday and got here yesterday afternoon. It was a long day, long drive, but here we are. It is a small campground. You actually come in off the main road down there and come up here. They tell you what colored cone you have. And so this goes up to the office. There's a couple, three of us here. We cannot reach sewer and electric and water. We can get to the water and we can get to the electric, but sewer would take more dump hoses, and not that we have, but we're only here 3 days, so we're not really too worried about it. But yeah, this is the entire park. It's the Laura Ingalls Wilder campground, and we're going to go over to the museum. You can kind of see it through the trees, and then there's her house that's in here as well. We're going to go tour that, but later on we'll just take a walk personally around here and let you see what it is. Not much going on, pretty quiet, nice people. I think we're the biggest rig in here at this point. Again, had to level up, and we're still not 100% level, but close enough. And the ducks are out searching because we had rain last night. So we're gonna head out, right?
We are. Bingo.
Bingo. We're not going to bingo. We're going to the museum and maybe get this beast washed. It is filthy, filthy. All right, stay tuned, everybody. It has rained off and on hard all day, but this is our site. So we're gonna walk around again a little bit and give you a little bit better look than before when I took a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't know that I need it, but okay.
Put it on here so I don't have to carry it.
Oh, throw it in the door. I got a long sleeve sweater type thing on, plus now he's telling me to put my rain gear on, but it does rain here, so.
It's supposed to rain in 10 minutes.
10 minutes we had rain coming. We had some pretty good clouds anyway coming in. Oh, look at that Super C came in.
Yeah. You can see how dark it is over there.
Yep, it's getting dark over there.
Dark over there.
Yeah, this Super C came in since we left. Verona. Don't know who makes Verona.
Probably Thor.
Playground. Picnic area. It's a nice size Super C. Office is up there. Looks like there's something behind that, doesn't it? You can see our dark clouds coming in. Pretty good now. Over the trees. The pond needs a little help.
It looks like it had more help than it can use. It's flooded.
Looks like the bridge is really having an issue too. Pretty saggy in the middle. So when we walked up this path, it took us to the backyard where they've got it gated off, not gate, but chained off, so that you can't get through up there. This backyard's just some private residence. And this is the back side of the other side of the campground, not necessarily the back side, but the other side. Looks like they do some storage here of people's, or even the people who work here, their stuff.
That is the Mansfield cabin, Mansfield in the Woods cabin back there.
Mansfield,
Apparently you can rent that.
Mansfield in the Woods cabin. Okay. Yeah, because you're supposed to have a cabin around here you can rent, besides this one, where the ducks are. But I think he said they live down here. Got a set of washer dryers. Women's bathroom. Looks like it's $1 wash and $1 dry. Oh, those are dryers. So $1 to dry.
Two
That's
shower
another shower.
stalls. Yeah, there's a shower stall there and there. Water heater there, I guess.
Locked up. And probably $1 to wash. All right, well, we just found out that the bath and laundry is there. Now, we could save ourselves a long walk around if it's going to be raining here. He's got electric, that North Point's got electric plugged in. This guy's got his water and electric plugged in, so those two are being lived in. So about 3 of those over there are being lived in. So, storm's coming in more, so we're gonna, this is the entire campground anyway. So we're gonna head back up here to our coach. So we believe this is the Laura Ingalls Wilder's museum. So we're gonna go in here and see what we can see. And then there's another building over there you can see through the trees. I think that's her house, and I think you can walk up there as well. So we'll go in and see what we can find out. And by the way, today is May 14th, 2024.
All day long.
All day long. Can't get out of the light there. Gift shop here at the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum. Pretty good size, typical gift shop. I don't know. There's a couple other houses here that we get to go see before the museum for the price of $18 per person admission. So we're going to do that. It's just over here. Let me get this turned around so y'all can see it. There. So we'll go there next. So up there is part of the tour. It's a mighty red tree here in the grounds of this first house. So this is Rocky Ridge Farm, home of Laura Ingalls Wilder. So we're standing here waiting for the narrated tour into the Laura Ingalls home, and so we're going to just let you read this.
Now there are a couple of rules before we do enter the house. The first rule is pictures are fine, just no flash and no videos inside. Okay, outside's fine, not inside, okay? All right. Also, you can't touch anything. That's a really important rule because we're walking through a museum. This is Laura and Almanzo's home, and all of the things you see inside here belong to them. So that's why we don't touch the doors or doorknobs, any countertops. The Wilders came to Mansfield, Missouri in 1894 by horse and wagon. Traveling over 600 miles, it took them 6 weeks to make the journey, all the way from De Smet, South Dakota. Once they finally arrived here in Mansfield, they purchased 40 acres of land right here and named it Rocky Ridge Farm. At the time, Laura was 27 years old. Her husband, Almanzo, was 37, and their daughter, Rose, was 7 years old. They moved into a little one-room log cabin. That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
A little one-room log cabin that stood over in the grassy area over there. Now, it no longer stands, but they lived in that little cabin for the winter. Now, it was just a dirt floor, no windows, and a fireplace. That was it. So they stayed there the winter. The next spring, they built a room onto the end of it as an attachment just to have some more space. And they stayed another year living in that. Now, during that year, they were preparing to build their new and permanent home. They were cutting down trees to use as lumber, also to take into town as firewood to sell, to make a little bit of money. So they were doing some progress here. Now, they chose this section over here because it's close to a water source. Walking up that pathway, there's a deep ravine on the other side. There used to be a spring that ran through it. That was their water source. So they thought if they could build closer to that spring, they could pack up those buckets of water a little quicker and easier. So that's what they did. In that spring of 1896, they pulled the room off the cabin. They put some logs underneath it, and they rolled and pulled the room down here. The first room you walk into, that kitchen, that is that very first room. Now, it took them a total of 17 years to build this house from beginning to end. And if you follow the little guide, you're going to be walking in order of how they built their house. And if you have any other questions, again, I'll be happy to answer inside. So let me open up and let's go inside.
Get that rock fireplace.
Now, it's best to drive over to the rock house if you're wanting to catch that very next door. There is a lovely trail between the houses.
Okay. We're going to go this way. Try to get here with a quickness. Oh, they even had a side porch. We didn't get to see it from the inside. That was added on too. And where we entered is actually just a screen house too. They need to mow their yard. Now it's caretaker's place, but it used to be a carriage shed.
You want to walk over there or you want to ride?
Yeah, let's drive. So now we're going to go to the Wilder Rock House, which is up in here about 900 feet, so it says. Where are you? Oopsie.
I'm right here.
You need to be on that side of me. Beautiful pasture ground. Look at this. Beautiful grounds. They put the handicap parking sign in the wrong place. Instead of clear down at the bottom where we just walked up, it's up here.
I'm going to give you guys these brochures, and it tells you a little bit about the house. A couple rules before we go in. Pictures are allowed, but no flash and no video, please. Also, don't touch anything. A lot of the stuff is original, and if it's not original, then it's pretty old. So, to give you a little bit of background before we go into the house, this house was purchased by Rose Wilder in 1928. The construction began in August of that year, and it was finished in December, and she gave Laura Ingalls Wilder the keys for Christmas. So this house was ordered from a Sears catalog. It was called the Mitchell English Cottage Plan, but originally it was supposed to have kind of regular house siding, but Rose did a lot of personalization to this house, and the rock is one of those personalizations. So normally this house would have been $2,000 if she had bought the kit and the plan, but she decided just to buy the plan and to use other materials. So this house cost $11,000.
Oh.
A big reason why, yes ma'am.
Oh my.
A big reason why I think that is because half of this house underneath it, there's a basement with poured concrete instead of cinder block, which would have been how they built basements in those days. Also, they wouldn't have had machines to dig the basement, so it would have been a lot of money towards manual labor. Alrighty, so I'm going to open this door, and as everybody goes in, I'll hand you a brochure, and then just wander around as you like. I'll just be around the house.
So we're back here now. We can come here and do our free walk through this museum after we took the tour of the two houses. So we'll see if we can video in here. So inside the museum, I'm just going to do a quick overall. It's not a very big one, but we'll just make a little quick movement through here. So there were 4 girls in Laura's family. There was Laura, Mary, Carrie, and Grace, and then there was also a son born that died right after birth. So you'll see names here that are not just Laura, like the blouse owned by Carrie, so by the sister. Made and worn by Laura. A favorite velvet dress of Laura's. And the white lawn dress made by and worn by Laura around 1900. So Laura didn't start writing books until in her late 60s, mid to late 60s. Rose, her daughter, started writing before that and actually became published much sooner than what Rose did for Little House on the Prairie. These were quilt appliques by Laura. This shawl belonged to Angeline Wilder. For doing quilting and making bonnets and etc. So as you can see, there's a lot of history, written history here. And one of those trunks is like what my mom and dad had that now my daughter has. Only hers has a dome top on it.
You see that? Eliza Jane.
Eliza Jane.
That's her trunk.
The sister from the farmer boy. She had beautiful handwriting. This is some of her work penciled on the manuscript books like that one. This is where they kept their chickens because there's eggs in here. The chickens, you see the chicken? And her eggs. Family Bible from Laura Ingalls Wilder's family. There's the chest like my daughter has. If any of you know what Garth Williams had to do with Laura Ingalls Wilder, let us know. Leave us a comment down below or send us a message. We'll do a little research on it as well, but well, he won his several prizes for his drawing, so maybe he had the
He's
characters.
a writer of children's books like Charlotte's Web.
Oh, he wrote Charlotte's Web, that's right.
I'm just curious why he's in the
Same time frame, or maybe he did some architectural drawings or some pictorials for Laura's books. I don't know how they come together, but you may have to cut and paste a little. It's the simple things of life that make living worthwhile. The sweet fundamental things such as duty, work, and rest, and living close to nature. So they're reworking inside this. So I'm gonna go in, see what kind of work he's doing. Oh my, look at this beautiful work in here. This woodwork is fantastic. A great job. Not sure what they're going to use this rail car for. But they got the heat all along the side. This is awesome. Looks like these could be bathrooms here in the rail car. Nice. Another door out. Hi.
Hey.
Are you doing this work here?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And who are you?
I am just touring it.
Okay.
But my name's Judy. How about you?
Okay. I'm Mike Roberts,
Hi, Mike.
and yeah, this is
So this is going to be
our project.
the eating side of it. Yeah.
This is the
Just the
kitchen.
kitchen area.
Are you
Perfect.
just traveling through? or-
We are. We are. We're from Iowa originally, but we travel full time in our RV and do a YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah.
So we try to catch anything and everything we can.
This has been about a 2-year project,
Okay.
and it's coming to an end. We're just about to get it completely finished. We're just cleaning up. All we're lacking here is the carpet tiles down and things like that, and then the restaurant equipment will move in after that.
And you're going to leave it set here and have it as a dining area?
So it'll be a dining car.
Dining car, okay.
This thing was actually built in 1948 in New Orleans, and it ran from Kansas City. It was a Kansas City Southern dining car. It ran from Kansas City to New Orleans, and they called that train the Southern Belle. And the name of this car
Interesting.
was Old Plantation.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
you're welcome. So we built a museum here a few years
Okay.
ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Kept telling
Okay.
my, boy, I'd like to have a dining car. I'd like to have a dining car. Just
Yeah.
one of those things. And so we finally found one, and buying it was the cheapest part.
And isn't that always true? So these are the original size windows that were in it?
These are the original size windows that were in it.
Okay.
The interior is not original at all.
Okay.
Back in '48, we were going through that Art Deco thing, they were
Right.
kind of wanting to be modern and kind of not. And so this was just all metal. It just
Oh, I
wasn't
love
very
the wood
classy
though.
or anything
I
like
mean,
that.
it's just
So
fantastic.
had a contractor here in town we dealt with for the last 40 years, and so he said, hey, I'd like to work on that. So I said, Brad, we want to go back to about the 1920s, where the air was really classy, really elegant and stuff like that. So we stripped this thing down to bare wood.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing but the shell on it. And so we started from there and went
It's
on.
beautiful though. You're doing, it's fantastic. So what will be the occupancy, do you think?
36 is
36?
what I think it'll seat, yeah.
Okay.
And we're working on that right now.
And so how are you going to draw people from town or even out of town here?
Out of town is probably the business we'll rely on. This is going to be kind of upscale. We have a lot of tourists that come to the Wilder home here in Mansfield.
Yeah, that's what we just did.
And 417 Magazine out of Springfield, which is an upscale magazine, has already contacted us
Okay.
on doing a feature story and stuff like that. So, and we've already had people call and want to place reservations, which, just word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how.
So what will your menus be? Do you know yet?
Well, I don't know because I'm not going to do the restaurant part.
Okay.
We've got a guy out here in the west end of town that has a Italian restaurant, Joe Vaccaro,
Okay.
and we approached him just to keep it local. And he's
Yeah.
going to kind of expand his menu, and this will have another location.
Oh, okay.
So it'll mainly be steak and seafood and things like that, along I'm sure with hamburgers and things like that. But,
Okay.
That's kind of
Kind of a,
what we're looking for.
oh, wonderful. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, I just think this is great. You're back here where nobody knows it, so we were just driving the streets, and that's how we happened to see it. And
Yeah. Well, we own this lot and all over here, so we'll put a sign on it.
okay,
Right down the main street, directing people to us
To-
and the museum.
museum, yeah. And is the museum open all the
It
time,
is,
just to walk through,
It is.
or
It's from 10 o'clock to probably 4 or 5.
okay,
It's manned by retired people or somebody like that. So
okay. So there's somebody in there all the time, at least open hours.
Usually is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me tour your handiwork
Oh,
here. This
okay,
is
well.
awesome.
I'm not much of a handyman. I'm just kind of the instigator.
Well, I like your ideas, that's for sure.
But anyway, the doors we made,
Yeah.
the old door was an old metal door, had a little glass end up here, and just And so the car's been completely, we repainted it,
Everything.
put a new floor in here.
Yeah.
The kitchen floor, that's actually where the kitchen was back there.
Okay.
And it was rotted completely out. So we had to go back in and replace all the steel underneath and stuff like that and get it. And by this being a dining car, it did not have a restroom in it.
Oh yeah.
What are we going to do for a restroom? Well, that's
I
gonna
saw
take
you
up-
have them on the back
it's gonna
side there.
take about 25 square feet one way or the other. So us 3 or 4 retired guys just working on it said, well, why don't we put a roof over it? I said, well, I don't want to put a regular roof over it and have poles on this side.
Right. Right.
So we decided we'd put a cantilever on it. Just come over and cantilever halfway over to make it look like it's pulling into the depot.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that added the deck
That
on
added the decking
side
out here.
and the restrooms and I can show you the kitchen back here. It's kind of
Oh, okay. Appreciate that. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
well, I was just going to head to the farm and feed the cows. So
Oh,
here's-
well, you know, you don't want to keep them waiting either.
but this is what the kitchen will
yes,
lay out
okay.
like, and
Yep.
the cooking equipment will be here and all.
Cooking, yep, absolutely. Prep area over here and sinks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this will be the wash area, the prep area.
Yep.
Stuff back in here, employee restroom and all. So it's
Nice.
all worked out pretty good.
And then an emergency door out.
You are actually a service door for food delivery.
For, yep,
and things
okay.
like that.
sure. But also for staff or anything else that happens.
Staff and
That's gotta
employees will
have that.
park back here and stuff like that. So.
That is great. Great idea. I love this. Well, I'll have to make sure I come back. When do you think you're going to be open?
I think they will be open 1st of July.
Okay. All right. And this nice young lady in the museum is telling me that she has a connection to the dresses we saw in the gift shop, correct? In the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum. So introduce yourself, please.
Barbara Van Orden, and I've done the dresses for quite a few years.
So she makes those dresses for like quite a few, being 10 plus, 20 plus?
10 plus.
10 plus years. And she still has orders to make more, right? And so she's here right now and visiting us. And you are?
Susan Jones.
Susan. And you,
Mansfield Area Historical Society in Mansfield, Missouri.
thank you. Well, we're going to take a long. Thank you so much. That just adds right into the video for the museum. I appreciate that.
We do
Yes,
have
sir.
a few, I don't know if you want to record this or not, but we do
We can
have-
cut it out if we
okay.
don't.
We do have a copyright, so we'll be very, very careful about your videoing.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't mind you doing like some of the quilts or whatever,
Okay.
but like our pictures and all that is copyrighted.
Okay,
A lot
perfect.
of our displays.
There's
So
a lot like
if
that.
you want to
Mhm.
do something in front of the museum, talking about it, you know, I don't mind if you like do a quilt or something like that. Our
Mhm.
pictures and all that is
Okay.
copyrighted.
Oh, okay.
So I
Perfect.
appreciate it and appreciate you doing that. It's
Absolutely.
good advertisement for
Thank
us.
you.
Thank
You
you.
bet. So if you're coming to Mansfield, right?
Mansfield, Missouri.
Mansfield, Missouri. You got to stop in here. There are some awesome things to see and awesome people to meet. And just take a look at what's going on in this small town. Has about, according to what we read, it says we have, it says you have about a population of 12,000,
It's 1,200.
1,200 people.
About 1,500 people.
Okay, about 12 to 1,500 people. So come on down here and take a look. It's not that far from Iowa, and it's beautiful down here. 23 from Springfield? 43.
We're 43 miles from Springfield.
Okay.
And we're 335 from St. Louis. And roughly
335 from St. Louis?
375 from Kansas City.
Perfect. 375 from Kansas City. So there you go.
Roughly.
Roughly. As the crow may fly.
There you go.
Wonderful.